Werner Heisenberg said, we have to remember that what we observe is not nature in itself, but nature exposed to our method of questioning. What do you think? It's a question from Quora.com, and it comes from Graham C. Lindsay. He's a very inquisitive man. You need to be inquisitive in life. My answer to this question, it would be yes. But there's something else missing that Heisenberg, I don't think he understood. We're talking science here. When we talk science, there are scientists, general scientists. Your doctors are general scientists, engineers. Those are general scientists, your chemist, your chemist. And then they use proven science. And then there's the scientific method. The scientific method is a way of asking nature so that we gain more knowledge from nature. When we talk about science, we must remember the idea of time, the variable time. You have to understand time to start thinking as somebody who does the scientific method. Heisenberg was at the beginning of what is now known as the discipline of quantum physics. Heisenberg, this is how he got to ask this question, by looking at quantum physics. At the beginning of quantum physics, things were mesmerized, It was mesmerizing to see a particle, light. When you put a detector, light acts like a particle. When you remove that detector, light acts like a wave. When you interfere with it, it's a particle. When you do not interfere, it's a wave. And you can see it with your own eyes. So it was a mesmerizing time. Even Einstein was mesmerized and talked about spooky stuff. And asked, do you mean a mouse changes the universe by merely looking at the moon? That's how this was the beginning. We are at the end of quantum physics now. We're at the end. We've got to add some stuff to the standard model. With more knowledge, we'll add more stuff to the standard model. Whole chunks of particle classes are missing. But we are towards the end of the discipline. Or what is left, the bigger portion of it is done. Whatever's left will be trail endings. And nature has revealed itself. But not just by one question. By us asking many questions. So you cannot blame yourself and say, no, it's only because I asked this way. No. Nature has revealed itself more and more and more. Because after each question, we can ask different kinds of questions. It's thoroughness. What did Heisenberg forget? He forgot interpretation of the answers we get from asking those questions. You ask questions by an experiment. That's why he's correct. Because an experiment can only give you so much information. It can't give you everything. But then you've got your interpretation of those experiments also matters. Your interpretation could be wrong. Let's take magnetism. Crucial mistakes were made. Because with quantum mechanics, everything became about machinery. Testing with machinery. Believing things. But there's a lodestone there. What is coming out of a lodestone is not associated so much as when you add electricity, a current to it. That should have been the original question. What is coming out of a lodestone? That's what we missed. We now know it organizes into a wave. It must be a particle. A weak particle, yes, very unstable. But it's not just that. It's the interpretation, So things were interpreted in such a way that they moved away from testing magnetism on its own. Not as some part of some naming electromagnetism. No, you have named that, but you haven't tested magnetism, the thing, on its own. Because you interpreted results the wrong way in some aspects. Take economics. Do a demand study right now of any good on this planet. You'll see the demand curve sloping downwards. You see it. It's the interpretation. People seeing it will tell you, no, it's nonsense. And they won't accept those principles. Take the courts. The court system. The judges. They give higher sentences to people they don't like for the same crime. For exactly the same crime. It's interpretation. It's your personal interpretation sometimes that can be wrong. Not the question, and then you start doubting yourself. Take the idea of racism. Genes. Now, some people believe they're superior. But if your genes are so superior in science, why would the Canadian government take down my interviews, the CBC, and replace me thought for thought with Lee Smolin? Why didn't he think of it himself, that everything is in a relationship? He refuses the science. They would rather cheat some people. So we must look at ourselves and not doubt the scientific method. Doubt our interpretation of what we have asked. That's it.